do it right now, Enda.
Yeah, and October is very important. This quarter is very important, Yvonne, because how China ends the year will set the tone for the beginning of 2019. By all accounts, things are softening across the board. We heard Rishi just mention industrial profits. That's a useful gauge. And policymakers are aware. They are already responding, not with outright stimulus per se, but taking targeted measures to try and keep things ticking over. So by all accounts, sentiment is turning down.
PMIs, these are going to be fairly key this week, looking particularly the manufacturing side. But, you know, what we have seen is retail sales holding up, if not doing better. Domestically focused economy is doing okay.
Quite right. It's not negative all across the board, but nonetheless, PMI is expected on the manufacturing side to dip down again. We all know the backstory to that. It is the ongoing trade war. And of course, there is a broader feeling that it will continue to get worse from here. Remember, the impact of these tariffs are only now beginning to get felt. There had been a lot of pre-ordering by exporters and importers to get ahead of the tariffs. That may be behind us now. So the smaller and medium-sized businesses are those feeling the brunt of the pain. And as we head into January, with tariffs expected to go up to 25%, all the indications are there will only be even more pressure on PMI.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're seeing officials, this kind of trickle-down stimulus that we've seen, as you mentioned, has come in different dosages. The latest one we've heard was about some change in some of these share buyback rules. How's that going to change the sentiment overall?
That's a good way of putting it, trickle-down kind of stimulus. These are very targeted measures. These are very nuanced, deliberate steps to try and ease those parts of the economy that need to cash the most. It's not outright.
And also getting companies with the share buybacks to support the share price. In other words, putting a little bit of a backstop on the declines that we've been seeing.
Yeah, well, shoring up the market is a key strategy of it. These officials have been out trying to talk up confidence in the stock market, and that's where the share buybacks comes into it. It's not just that, though. They've taken steps to help exporters. They are talking about personal tax cuts, and of course, they're trying to make it easier for private companies to get financing out there in the public market. So when you take the rhetoric together, when you take the steps together, and when you take the share buybacks together, we're talking about very targeted measures to try and shore up confidence.